Welcome to the Confidence in Singing podcast, where you can reclaim your voice and rediscover the joy of singing. I'm Aideen, and my guests include singers and voice experts who share their insights and journey to encourage singing for health, happiness, and fun. To support this podcast and join the Confidence in Singing community, just click on the Patreon link below. Welcome to the Confidence in Singing podcast. I'm Aideen Riada, and my guest today is Lowry Olafson. How are you, Lowry?
I'm great, Aideen.
Yes, fun. So great to have you here. I'm really looking forward to it. We will have fun. And let me just tell people a little bit about you first before we get started on chatting. So Lowry Olafson is a Canadian singer-songwriter who has toured the globe and released 9 albums. In addition to his performing career, he is the founder of PowerSongs and has co-written more than 500 songs with over 10,000 people. The PowerSong Experience helps organizations, teams, individuals and couples connect to a greater sense of meaning, joy and possibility in work and life. As he likes to say, it's your life, make it sing. Lowry lives on the ocean in British Columbia's beautiful Sunshine Coast in Canada, and he loves to row, laugh and sing at every opportunity. Thank you for joining us, Lowry.
It's so nice to be here.
We've already been chatting a little bit, so I know we've got lots that we want to talk about, but let's talk a bit about what PowerSongs do and how you came about devising this PowerSong offering to for people.
Well, I was going through a point in my life of transition, coming out of a divorce and not quite sure, kind of the blank slate of my life and figuring out what I wanted, next. And a friend of mine said, well, why don't you do affirmations? And I said, well, I do them, but I don't. As soon as I say one, I start an argument in my head. It's like, that's not going to happen and blah, blah. And so she said, well, why don't you write a song then? And so I wrote this little song, and it was kind of the original power song, like an 8-line affirmation that went, I got a house on the water and someone to love. I laugh and sing and work and play. I'm living in the flow, helping people grow. Joy and adventure every day. And it was like this little song that had everything that I could dream of, that I wanted in my life, going forward. And it felt dumb, it felt a little pretentious or something to think I'm a house on the ocean. I don't think so, but within a year I was building a house on the ocean, and not long after that I was in a new relationship, and then people started saying to me, well, I want a power song. And so then I started writing them with other people, and they were really, they loved the experience of getting clear about what they wanted and kind of giving themselves permission to even want it and to articulate it. And then most people weren't singers, and so it was like, giving themselves permission to sing again and sort of to step in it, because it was really a tool that would get you out of the kind of poor me thing to being like, going, I'm depressed, to I am depressed, and so this body, the body leading the way. I got a house. It's very hard to sing, it's very different to go, I got a house on the water, I got a house. So the melody, all of these things are tools for transformation in the moment. Strategically, how do I get to a better version of myself, a more fully present, more fully alive version of myself?
It's amazing. And I have had the pleasure of writing my power song with you as well, Lowry. And it was a wonderful experience.
It was beautiful.
Yes, and I will share that with everyone as well in a moment. But what I did was I added a thing called Affirmations, which is using your affirmation as a question. So instead of going, I am happy,
Yes.
my first line in my song is, why am I so happy? And it kind of gets your brain actually answering that question. So it's a really powerful way to formulate an affirmation. So yes, if I can remember it now. You've obviously practiced yours a lot more than I've practiced mine, Lowry.
Yes. And, and I don't think of it as practice. I kind of think of it as, it's kind of like a ritual. That daily, from a lot of people, it's a daily ritual that they start the day, or they might, do it at certain times. Some people will take, because I make a recording for people usually, and they'll make it a part of their alarm. They'll wake up
That's
to
a
it.
great
Or,
idea.
those kinds of things, so that it becomes something that nudges us, because we all kind of, you get into negative thinking and stuff like that, and so it's how do you strategically
Use it to
just
change your
re-engage
state.
yourself.
Yes,
Yes,
and so I
absolutely.
noticed,
Yeah.
because we did it, and Mike and I were planning to record it, but we didn't get around to it yet. But I noticed that the song would pop into my mind when I needed it, almost like the moments when I didn't feel very happy. I would suddenly go, "Why am I so happy? Why do my dreams come true? Singing on the highest mountain, holding hands with you. Living in this vast expanse of possibility. We're dancing to the magic of our sacred alchemy. We're
Yeah.
dancing to the magic of our sacred alchemy." Ta-da!
Well, that's beautiful. And, I mean, most people aren't the singer that you are. It's so beautiful when you sing it. But even like what I love about the melody in your song is it's like, what's that song? Somewhere over the rainbow. It's very, even that is a sad song. I was surprised when I realized later. But that leap of somewhere, why am I so happy, is a lot different than why am I so happy.
But you had to help me with that.
Eeyore.
I think my melody that I would have chosen would have been more neutral. So when we worked
Yeah.
together, you helped me to kind of feel into a powerful melody for the words that I was choosing.
Yeah, yeah. The melody is very much strategically written to take you on a journey, an emotional journey, right? Super. It's super important that melody be something that, whether you ever, even if you didn't sing the words, just going da 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 ba ba da ba da 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 ba da 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 da. Even somewhere over the rainbow does that. It does this leap, and then it kind of gives you this hug. It goes somewhere over the rainbow, da la da 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 da.
Yeah,
Right?
like a
And so
tension
it's
and then a
really
release.
yeah, yeah, and a comfort. It's like giving yourself a hug, right? So
I love
yeah, so
that.
the melodies, yeah, yeah.
I was wondering, I was wondering, have you had any experience writing a power song where there was a very dramatic change in the people that you were working with as you created the song?
Yeah, I mean, in a sense, almost everyone. In the chorus, like where I see it most dramatically is when I write them with groups, because I do it as a team building thing. Sometimes I'll come in and I'll work with groups, and usually it's because the executive director, the CEO, or somebody said, okay, we're going to do this team building thing. We're going to write a song about the work that we do, or celebrate this organization or something, right? And so all these people come in and they're grumpy and they're like, I'm not going to sing, I don't sing, and they're all irritated, right? Not all of them. Some of them are excited, but it's very common. And then you just watch this experience as we start to think, okay, well, what do we want to say, and what's important to us here, and then and we all have kind of skin in the game, and it's an experience of group flow is what it is. And when you and I write together, when I write together with another individual, it's exactly the same thing. When you get into an experience of flow with another person, it's highly collaborative, it's highly creative, it's very safe, it's highly focused. It's like everything else goes out the window, and then at the end of it, you've come to this thing, and you've given voice, like you've been deeply listened to. Like that's really my job, co-writing the song is to say, is to like I remember writing with this one woman, and she said, I just want to feel like I'm enough. And here she is, she's got a PhD, and she's like a pretty high-powered person. And I'm thinking, well, you are clearly more than enough, So I said, enough is good, but you know what? Is there anything more? And she said, well, the word magnificent comes to mind. And I said, magnificent. Well, of course, magnificent it's not ego. Magnificent is when you're generous and you're alive and you're kind and you're vibrant and that's magnificent. And so we wrote this, I'm stepping into the magnificent me. And so, that's a lot better than saying, I am absolutely enough. Enough is like,
it's a lower,
we want to push
it's a lower goal, right?
Yeah, a lower vibration. It's it's very self-deprecating and putting yourself down. So to me, the power songs, the point of that is to step into who we really are. And one of the important things about that is that this is about full presence. And Amy Cuddy she has this amazing book called Presence, and she's famous for the Wonder Woman pose and the power poses from her TED Talk. But what she says is that when you're not, her idea is that you lead with your body. So even just this little shift from there to there opens my chest. I'm breathing more deeply. I feel like a different person, just that little bit, right? But what she says is that people that aren't fully present can't even be empathetic. Like if you're a nurse or a doctor or something, and you're not fully present, you can't care fully for the people in your life.
For anyone who's
right?
just listening to the podcast, I wanted to, audio wise, I wanted to explain what that difference was in your posture that you just did. So it's almost like the chest comes lifted, and that to me is actually opening up your heart as well. So it's lengthening your body, your neck becomes longer. So if anybody's listening, you could actually try it. Like it's almost like aligning your body. I don't like to tell people to sit up straight because they usually add tension to their posture. But if you can align your posture or try that Wonder Woman pose, and just that lifting of the heart. And I'm really keen to read her book because I loved her TED Talk about power posing. And in the TED Talk, she actually was able to prove that if you had good posture for 2 full minutes, your cortisol, your stress hormones, would decrease. So you'd feel that you could handle things. And your testosterone, which helps you to deal with stress and helps you to take a risk when you need to, came up. So that is amazing that she even proved that it actually your body, you changing your posture of your body changes how you think and how you feel and how you will act. And when you sing, and I mean, I work with singers, I teach singers, if you are slouching and you don't have good posture, you can't really sing. So actually learning to sing helps your posture. So it's really interesting. I'm just 100% so behind that philosophy.
Yeah. Well, and singing, music takes it to another level yet, because, posture is one thing. And somebody told me something interesting the other day about posture, because I'm thinking, she said it aligns the chakras. So the chakras are aligned. And what happens is your sacral and your throat chakra are the only two that are linked. So your sacral is, creativity and sex and, your most most creative, expressive part. And then if your vocal chakra is blocked, then your self-expression is cut off.
Yeah.
So you need, this is a super important one. But when you sing, and when you sing in a group, it creates oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine. These are the effects of singing. So in addition to this, isn't just, we're talking another notch above what Amy Cuddy's talking about, because we're singing. And people that all of a sudden reclaim their voice, because most of the people I write power songs with say, I can't sing and I wouldn't sing and nobody can hear them, but they don't have to sing in front of anybody else. They just have to let themselves. And they kind of think, hey, wait a minute, I used to sing and if I said, you please don't talk, your voice is really irritating, please don't talk, no one would say, get lost, but most people have lost their singing voice because somebody said, please don't sing.
Yeah, people get shut down a lot, and there's this.
Yeah.
I think in music there is a slight bit of kind of elitism that, unless you're a really polished singer, you shouldn't sing at all, or unless you're like a concert pianist, you shouldn't play piano at all, and all of that's complete rubbish because singing and playing music and are all things that we can enjoy for ourselves or for even like a small family group. So there's a lot of benefits. I mean, I just love what you do, Larry. I really, really do. I'd love to hear a little bit more about working with the transformations that you've seen in people and feedback that you might have gotten from people after they've been using it a while.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. I had this one woman. I like to follow up with people because sometimes they, are you singing your song right? And I said to this woman, Irma, I said, are you singing your song, Irma? She says, no, I'm not. She said, I've got it taped to my mirror and I read it every morning. It's part of my morning ritual. And I said, Irma, it's not the same. It's, because, and the lyric to her power song is gorgeous. It's real love, love in every moment, real joy, dancing in the truth. I stand strong, earth beneath my feet. I'm glittering like gold and nothing's going to hold me back. It's a beautiful lyric, right? But the music goes, real love, love in every moment, real joy, dancing in the truth. I stand strong, earth beneath my feet. I'm glittering like gold, and nothing's gonna hold me back. It's a very different experience to sing that and to let yourself sing that. And so then for her, we did it. I did a recording and we did a video with a slideshow, and the whole thing. We did kind of an extended length of her song, and so that's something that's been a real powerful part to add the visuals to that. And I would just say, most people, I mean, one woman said, I used to be I've always been dealing with anxiety and stuff. And her song is called I'm a Badass. And she said, now I don't take Ativan anymore. I just sing my song. If I feel in bed, I sing my song a couple of times and I'm good to go.
That's amazing.
So it's it's all about using it strategically. And for me, I just kind of keep on kind of looking at the things in my song. It's kind of like, well, I got it. I got it. And now what? This whole idea.
And the other thing we spoke about before you came on was the value of letting yourself be happy. So when you sing, it can kind of trigger that happier part of us. But a lot of people underestimate the power of happiness. You had a quote that you quoted to me earlier. What was that?
Well, that was the William James. So he's the founder of positive psychology. No, not positive, of psychology. Period. So he's like back in the 1800s, and he said, I'm not happy. I don't sing because I'm happy. I'm happy because I sing.
Yes.
So he recognized that the process of singing, it's this idea that emotions follow our bodies, that they follow our behaviors. And singing, the science behind music is really just starting to be understood in terms of the impact that music has. I mean, we know it. You see it in a movie. Movies are how they use music to tell you how to feel. If you have no soundtrack and a guy walks across the screen, well, you don't know what to think. But if you turn up the sound and it's going dum da dum dum, meow, right? Then you're stressed, right?
Yeah.
And then but if it's like da ba da 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 da, then it's all good, right?
A lot of people underestimate that.
They don't even know.
Yes.
And then people like us that just kind of like, I'm a musician, I'm a singer, I could do that, but I forget to do music sometimes. I'm just, I'm on my computer, I'm on the phone, I'm doing that stuff, and I'm not doing any music. And it's like, then I go out and I play a concert, and I just feel so good, or I do some recording, and I just feel so good, or I write a song with somebody, I just feel so good. And it's like, Lowry, you just need to be singing all the time, like just just sing, man. You got to remember, this is like the best tool there is. It's
Yes, and
portable.
the book I've been reading, The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker, it was actually saying that if you can be happy, it actually improves your problem solving skills. So they actually tested it on doctors, and they gave doctors a piece of candy and then gave them a problem to solve. They didn't eat the candy. They just got a piece of candy so that they could look forward to it, and they were able to solve a very difficult diagnosis. And then the other one
Wow.
that I was reading in his book was about these Catholic nuns, and they actually analysed the journal entries of Catholic nuns from the early 1900s to see the difference between people who had a lot of happy kind of terminology and entries versus neutral or negative. And they found the people with the happy stuff in their journals live 10 years longer. So if you want to live longer, solve problems better, feel better, and manifest your dreams the way you did. I'm living by the sea. I just loved that you are living by, like, your power song
Yeah.
manifested your current reality. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. It's just, yeah, it's just a really cool way to. I think it's easy for us to discount our dreams, and oh, that's never going to happen. And I'm really somebody who defaults to what I would call the red zone: worry, stress, anxiety. Those. That's kind of, I wake up in that default kind of negative, space. And so, for me, I just, and so gratitude practice is another way to, transform, breath work is a way to transform, but music is instant. A song like that, it's real fast. So it's very strategic and quick. I can quickly get out of that red zone into the blue zone. And what happens, of course, is that when you're not happy and you're worrying and stuff, you're pretty, you're not really seeing options, right? It's very down, it's very inward looking. But when you say, I'm depressed, it's like, I'm looking around and I'm thinking, actually, I could build a house on the ocean. Maybe I could. What if I could? What if I, like, you start to see, like it's in your song, possibilities. You see possibilities. Well, you don't see them down here. All you see is darkness and lack and limiting thoughts and stuff. So this is, you literally, there's an opening of the eyes. Like this tunnel vision is a very narrow way to see your life. And a lot of people get stuck in, oh, I could never do that. And, that kind of thing. And so I love, I just love the idea of pushing through our boundaries and being able to do things, saying yes to things that you never thought could happen. Because what happens is the universe meets you halfway, right? Like, I recently wanted to buy this paddleboard. Last summer, I was all about, like, I've got a rowboat. I'm into rowing, but I wanted to get like a serious paddleboard, and it's like a lot of money. And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, how can I justify this? And I'm back and forth. And finally, I just thought, okay, I forget it. I'm buying this thing because it's like, this makes so much sense, as a tool for health and vibrancy in life. And I can just walk out the door and do this, right? And like the next day, I get a call from some clients I haven't worked with for 10 years, commissioning a whole bunch, like they wanted an audio book and 6 new songs, like all this stuff. Like it was like, well, there's the paddleboard and a really nice paddle. It's just like this is what I see happening, and what I understand the way it works is the universe meets you halfway. You're not alone. Like, I
Yes.
didn't manifest this by myself.
That is
Right.
amazing. And I've noticed this myself. When I started doing the Why Am I So Happy, I wasn't doing the song version, but I was doing I have a post-it note on my wall beside the bed, and I have it in my phone, and so I have the Why Am I So Happy everywhere. And what happened was I started upgrading small things in my life. Like I bought some new clothes. I started being kinder and nicer to myself in small ways. And now I actually have visual anchors in my office space that like, one of the things is like, follow your dreams is like on the wall with this special lettering and different colors. And I definitely believe that we're hard on ourselves sometimes, and we can be stingy is the word I would use. Like, you know,
Yeah.
we go to the store and we're buying the cheapest of everything. And
Yeah.
when, you know, I like to, like, at least every year for my birthday, and doing it more often, if I buy some expensive face cream, because I really enjoy something that, you know, is beautiful, that I can put on every night, and it's like that self-care thing. And if you can trust that you are really valuable, you're a valuable person, and you deserve to love yourself in the small ways that you can, and that seems to fill us up, and then from there we've more energy to give. So it's almost like you've to put on your own mask first so that you can help others.
Yeah, and I think, you know, when you say in the small ways, I think you really, that's the key, because I remember reading in Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way. I think it might have been the first one. Do you know her work?
I've heard of that
Yeah,
book for
so
sure.
yeah, well, she's written several books, but it was a game changer for me, you know, to do that course, and I did that like 30 years ago or something. But she talks about, you know, wealth and that feeling of luxury and stuff, and an example of that is, like, you know, you're having a piece of toast, and you're thinking, well, you know, what do I want on my toast? Do I want jam or marmalade? You know, and what happens is, when people say no to themselves after a while, they don't even really know what their own taste is. But so I'd open the fridge and I think, well, do I want jam or marmalade, or what do I want? And then instead of saying, well, that's silly, what difference does it make what you have? You know, like, or you know, it's like, no, I want marmalade. Today I want marmalade. Like, I clearly have a preference for this. And so you get practiced at saying, at first, at actually listening to yourself, and what are the preferences, and you know, that's part of what we do in writing the song, the power song, is like, well, what word do you want to use there? You know, do you want it to be our, what was it in yours? It was um, why do our dreams come true?
Yes.
Right? That was important to you, that we said, why do, not just why do my dreams come true, or why do
Yeah.
dreams come true? That was an important thing for you to listen and tune in to say, no, that's what I want to say. And then when you honor that and you give voice to that, and it's like, okay, I got the marmalade. Well, you know, it's like, I just gave myself exactly what I wanted. I asked for it, I got it, and there it is, right?
And you
So,
got
you know,
happier
you
because
start
of that.
to, and I got happier because of it. And so then when somebody else comes in and they ask you for something, it's like, yeah, I could help you with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
You
really
know,
important to
it's
know
like,
what it is what's next for you. Like, we have to be able to say no sometimes as well. So making the small
yeah,
choices on a daily basis, like, will you have a lemon in your water? And it's like, instead of being lazy, when you really want the lemon, put the lemon in and make it something that you truly enjoy. And then when you're asked, do you want to take this job or this job, you have a better feel for what your instinct is, what your gut reaction is. And it means that you're going to make better decisions overall, I think.
yeah, for sure. Because, you know, you say to somebody you want, and they say, well, I don't know what I want. I don't know. What do I, you know, I don't know. Like, a lot of people are so used to thinking they can't have what they want that they don't even know what they want anymore.
Yes.
Right? For me to say I want a house on the ocean, I mean, I've always wanted a house on the ocean, but for me to put it in a song, that was powerful, because that's just stupid, because that's not going to happen. That this is where I live now is impossible. This can't even, by any stretch of my imagination, 3.5 years ago, if you told me this would be my reality now, I'd say bullshit. That's not going to happen. You know, I had visions of, you know, leaving that marriage. I had visions of, like, being in a trailer on the side of a mountain, you know, destitute and homeless. I mean, that's what my friends were saying. If you do this, you're going to lose everything, and your life's going to be ruined. You know, so you just suck it up. But that wasn't the case.
I'm so glad it wasn't
Right?
the case, because I think what you've
Yeah.
done, you know, with Power Songs is you've shared that joy with other people, and you're sharing that hope for a better future with other people too.
Well, and you know, it's like, for me, what I love about it, because I love writing songs. I've been writing songs and singing and doing all that all my life. But I also love that I have developed this ability to help other people write songs and but not just write songs. I don't care about writing songs specifically. I care about creating transformation in people's lives. Like what lights me on fire is saying, yeah, you can do it. Come on. Like, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you say yes? Why, you know, and so for me, I'm excited by the idea of growth. And so for me to be able to use my skill as, you know, as a songwriter, but also as a listener and a cheerleader and, you know, that kind of stuff, that's when, you know, when everything kind of comes together, right? In your, all of your skills and your passions and all that kind of stuff. And then just, you know, the sharing the joy of doing that and giving people back their voices. And like, there's so many levels on which this work is, you know, I could have just had the life of that a lot of my friends frankly have, which is like touring and they're putting out another album. And, you know, 25 albums later, I'd be pretty bored. You know, I'm glad that my path has taken me to writing songs with kids and with couples and families and individuals, and it's created transformation. I'd way rather do that than have a hit song.
It's so
You know,
it's just so profound the difference you're making with people, as one by one maybe or in groups, but it's like
yeah,
you get to actually experience the other person's experience of their song and their transformation. Whereas a lot of singers and musicians are putting out stuff, but they don't get any feedback or not a lot of feedback unless they're doing stadium gigs or something, which not very many people are.
yeah, and even if you are, it's. I mean, the other thing I get is like I have your song stuck in my head. When I write a song with a client, I've got, you know, I've got these songs kind of like real love, and you know, it's easy for me to just kind of break into, you know, the sacred alchemy, right? I'm wind and I'm water, I'm one of a kind, you know, those kinds of things. Like, I, I sing those too, right?
That's fun. That's so much fun. And actually, we'll give Kim Downey a shout out because I'm Wind and I'm Water and One of a Kind comes from the power song of an awesome feng shui expert in Chicago who has been helping me in my home and has worked on
And
your
me,
home.
yeah.
So her power song, it helps her. So is there anything before we finish up that you would like to say directly to the listeners? So that, people who are listening here, they may or may not have confidence with their singing, or they may want to do more with music. What would you say to them?
Well, I guess I would encourage them. I love the work that you're doing and this idea of helping people get their voices back, and the just the idea of, you know, thinking of the singing not so much as being like being a better singer or getting good at singing or that, but the whole process of using the voice as a way to really connect more deeply to yourself, to create, to reach higher and to really live a happier, richer, fuller life. So, I love that that's the angle that you come at with what the work that you do. And so I just hope, people take advantage of your offerings, because I think it's so off the mainstream in terms of what people think of. They go to therapy or they do things, but like getting your voice, it's like it's so portable and it's so transformative just to start singing.
Yes, portable. That's a great point. You take your voice with you everywhere.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's amazing. I'm just so excited to have you. I mean, I would recommend that everybody go to you. I'm like, maybe Mike, my husband, should do his own power song as well. And
Yeah.
it can be very powerful. I know for you work with couples to create a power song together, which is an
Yeah.
amazing thing to do too.
Yeah. Yeah. And teams and families and, for conferences, sometimes if there's a tagline and we create a song that they use for the whole conference, there's just so many ways, even for businesses that are like I did one that was with a woman who teaches conflict resolution, and she has principles that she called "Play Nice in the Sandbox," and she was using an acronym to try to help people remember these things. But acronyms don't work. P stands for this and L stands for that, and like in the heat of the moment when you're dealing with conflict, that part of your brain's not even available to you. But, play nice in the sandbox, though you feel like kicking sand. Everybody's got a story, you gotta listen to understand. You can choose to lift and make a holy shift. Dig deep and speak your truth. 'Cause play nice in the sandbox, 'cause change begins with you. Right? So it's all sort of like right there. We go to a lot of trouble to, like, what are the key points you need to remember here? So, for people that have a strategy they're teaching people, it's give them a song, like let them write a song.
It's amazing.
Say in 8 lines.
And speaking of conferences, I'm hoping that you are going to be a speaker at my Voice Summit event on Get Unstuck in Your Business through Voice and Vibration, and on the 14th of May 2022. So save the date, guys, and watch this space for the rest of the details. And thank you so much, Lowry, for being here. This is Lowry Olafson, who what's your website, Lowry?
PowerSongs.ca. Yeah, PowerSongs.ca for Canada. And
Perfect.
my tagline is, "It's your life, make it sing."
I love that tagline. I was noticing that on your email actually as well. So thank you everyone who's been listening. We love you. We're hoping for you all to experience the transformation that singing can bring, and to manifest the things in your life that you would love, because you being happy is going to serve everybody else too. Thank you, Lowry, for being on the show. We'll see you again next time.
Thanks, Aideen.